Sonic the Hedgehog, one of the most popular and arguably most mixed-bagged video game franchises of all time. So what if he was an egg? I myself asked this question, and so I decided to take it upon myself to design a Sonic-themed egg. I first started with designing the egg, and I figured what better way to design a Sonic-themed egg than by using Sonic's face. And so I decided to scour the internet to look for different references to use for Sonic's face. I ended up stumbling across these wireless Sonic earbuds that have different Sonic facial expressions, and so I ended up going with this one where he looks really smug. Now that I finished designing the egg, I figured it was now time to start the packaging. And so I grabbed a tissue box and I decided to paint it blue because it's, well, Sonic. Once I was done with that, all I had to do now was just wait for this little thing to dry. I'm sure it's not going to take too long. Okay, well, as I'm doing this, here are some fun facts about Sonic the Hedgehog that I thought were pretty neat.
Originally, Sonic was going to actually be a rabbit, which, ew. He was also originally going to be named Mr. Needlemouse. Sonic is a very bad swimmer, and the reason for this is because his creators actually thought that hedgehogs couldn't swim that well. Sonic's shoes were also inspired by Michael Jackson and Santa Claus. It has been calculated that Sonic at his top speed can go faster than light. And we are done. Wow, take a look at that paint job. Next, I decided to add some pizzazz to this packaging. And so, using this sticker packet, I ended up cutting out the Sonic logo and just slapping on some Sonic characters.
Up next, I needed to have a background to get rid of this very plain inside tissue box. And so I decided to use a very classic level from the Sonic games, that being Green Hill Zone. I also found the packaging for a Sonic figure, and I ended up using this to cut out this Sonic pose and using his name to give it some authenticity. Up next, I needed to add some protection so that way this egg doesn't break on impact. I was able to find some leftover bubble wrap and added a couple layers to the bottom, top, left, and right. I also got my hands on some cotton balls too, so I decided to add this to the top for some extra layer of protection. Now it was time to make the egg stay still. By looking through some old stuff, I was able to find some Lego pieces that when combined, create a thick, strong wall of protection. Once I finished building the wall, I then glued them to the box and spaced them accordingly to fit the egg. Now I needed to figure out a way for somebody to open this thing. My first idea was something like a mini door, but I couldn't really figure out how I could exactly do that. So instead, I decided to just cut open the top of the box to create some kind of latch, so that way you could just grab the egg from above. So without further ado, let's get cutting. Once I finished cutting the top, I then attached some tape to the ledges, so that way the thing can stay closed. To make sure that this egg just doesn't go flying out from the front, I ended up grabbing some spare plastic and glued it inside of the box, which took a lot longer than I thought, but I was able to pull through. Now it was time to add some of the admittedly pretty boring nutritional fact stuff by using, get this, a real egg cartridge. I ended up cutting out all the important stuff like the nutritional facts, the barcode, the ingredients, and pretty much all the stuff that just says, hey, this egg is safe. Once that was finished, I was almost done. I decided to add some more stickers just for some extra detail, but after that, I was done. Now, the only thing that was left to do was to test to see if the packaging was correct.
Oh.
That was really bad.
So no, in case you're wondering, the egg did not survive the fall, and that's mainly just because I didn't provide any cushioning on the front and ended up landing really hard on the front. Also because I thought the Legos would have held the egg a lot better than they actually did. Next time, I'm gonna make sure that the egg is really secure, it's just not going to be moving at all in the box. But overall, I think I did a really good job in designing the whole packaging, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.